What if I told you that many teams' underperformance isn't about their skills, but more about misalignment when assigning tasks?
I understand nothing.
Could matching the right responsibilities to the right personalities improve the overall performance of your team? How to delegate the right tasks to the right people utilizing the DISC framework.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And in conclusion, Jim, Bill, Bob, Call, Fred, Load, Dork, 8 of 10. Business is business. And as we all know, in order to get something done, you got to do something. In order to do something, we got to get to work. So let's get to work. Thank you.
A study found that businesses with high employee engagement, often driven by proper task alignment, experience 21% higher profitability and 17% greater productivity compared to these without. Over the years, I've worked with teams across various industries, and one thing stands out. Most managers delegate based on availability, not based on the person's suitability. For example, assigning an analytical task to someone who thrives on collaboration can lead to inefficient work.
And poor chlorophyll is caught in the middle of this.
Chlorophyll? More like borophyll, right?
And more importantly, missed deadlines or poor delivery. You see, the problem is not because we don't have capable team members, but because we often assign them to things that don't complement their natural strength. And failing to match tasks and responsibilities with the right DISC profile can easily result in poor performance, frustration, and burnout.
This is the worst.
Situations you definitely want to avoid. That's why in this video, I will guide you on how you can use DISC profiles to delegate tasks and responsibilities more effectively. I will go over 6 examples of things that you might want to get done and how you can identify the best people to do it. The first thing I call getting things done. So sometimes you have things that just urgently need to be completed, or something that just need a sense of getting things done. And for these type of things, you're typically looking for dominant people. You're looking for people who are not necessarily perfectionists, but they're just focused on let's get things moving, let's get things completed. That's number one. The second thing is something that requires team collaboration. Now, when you're dealing with a team and when you're dealing with team collaboration, you tend to look at the right side of the DISC framework, which is typically the influential people and the steady people. They're the ones that are great at building connection and relationship, and they are the ones that often have the best team skills. So if you're working on a project, let's say your team is going to an event and you need to present or you need to share more about your company at the event, it would potentially be a great idea to have someone with good team collaboration skills leading something like that. The third one, if you have to get the details right, let's think like bookkeeping, something analytical where you really need to make sure the data is accurate and everything's just triple checked. You generally look for conscientious people. The conscientious people is the detail-oriented, the nerdy kind of people who generally work exceptionally well with numbers. They understand them, they look at a bunch of numbers and they see when something is out of place. The fourth is quality control. So you have processes that are going to get done repeatedly, and you want to make sure that the quality of it is getting checked. Who are the best people? Conscientious people is often good at these kind of tasks because, again, they are very focused on details. Steady people are generally also quite good at making sure that things are being done correctly. The challenge for both of these is while they're good at necessarily doing the work and pointing out when there's issues, they might not always be the best people at giving that feedback to the people who have done the work. But from a quality control piece and making sure things are getting completed well, those are typically the personality types you would look for. Next up, we're looking at creative tasks. So if you're having a creative task, that could be some designs, that could be creating new logo.
It feels like half an ad.
Again, you're looking at the right side of the DISC personalities. So you're looking for influential people or steady people. those are generally the ones that are more right-brained and therefore naturally more creative individuals. The sixth is around strategic planning. Let's say you're looking to acquire a competitor. Well, that requires typically a level of detail. It requires often going through sometimes some difficult situations. Generally, strategic planning tend to align to the left side of the disc profile the most. So the left side is more logical driven, and therefore they tend to think about things in a logical manner. They think about tasks more than they think about people. And because of that, when you're doing some strategic planning, you typically want to go down the route of specific tasks. This tend to align best to dominant people or to conscientious people. Depending on the specific planning, one or the other could be better, or potentially someone whose primary is dominant and secondary conscientious, or primary conscientious and second dominant, which would typically be the best people for something like that. If you're interested in leveling up your management skills, check out my online course, The Effective Management Mastery, where I break down the processes and the mindsets required for effective managers. This is an opportunity for you to learn a lot more about how to lead and manage your team effectively and how to be the top 10% of managers worldwide.